Choose a divorce attorney the way you would choose a surgeon, by focus, by track record, and by trust, not by billboard. In North Carolina, that means finding a lawyer who concentrates on family law, meeting with more than one before you hire, and asking direct questions about fees, strategy, and communication at the consultation. Honest answer, not always for every task, but almost always for a review. If your marriage was short, there are no children, and neither of you has real property or retirement accounts, you may be able to handle much of the paperwork yourself with an attorney consulted at key checkpoints. That limited scope approach, a few meetings to map the road and then you do the driving, can be a sensible middle path. But be careful about the assumptions hiding inside the phrase, "our situation is simple." A simple case usually depends on your spouse being completely honest about money, and you often cannot verify that without help. And North Carolina layers a genuine trap under even the simplest divorce. Your equitable distribution and alimony claims, meaning property division and spousal support, are permanently gone if they are not resolved or on file when the divorce judgment is entered. So if you do nothing else, have a family law attorney look at your situation once before your divorce goes final. An hour of review is cheap insurance against a mistake nobody can fix. Cast a wide net first, then narrow fast. Ask people you trust. Friends, family, coworkers, clergy, anyone in your circle who has been through a divorce locally, and ask what the lawyer was like to work with, not just whether they won. Ask other professionals. Your accountant, your therapist, your financial advisor, or a lawyer you know in another field will often know exactly who handles family law well in your county. Use a lawyer referral service. There is a statewide service that connects you with attorneys by practice area and by county, and we've linked it below. If money is tight, there are legal aid and volunteer lawyer programs that provide free help in family law matters for people who qualify. Capacity is limited, so start early and pay attention to reputation at the courthouse. Family law is a local practice. Lawyers who appear before your county's judges every week know how those judges think, and the courthouse community knows who prepares and who wings it. North Carolina lets attorneys earn board certification in family law. It is a credential that requires substantial family law experience, peer review, continuing education, and a rigorous exam. In a field full of marketing, it is one of the few objective signals you get. A specialist's hourly rate is often higher than a general practitioner's, and counterintuitively that frequently costs you less overall. A lawyer who has handled 1,000 property division claims doesn't bill you for the learning curve, doesn't miss deadlines that spawn expensive emergencies, and knows which fights are worth having. The cheapest lawyer on the block who also does divorces is one of the classic false economies. Yes, you should. Treat consultations like interviews, because that is exactly what they are. Many family law attorneys offer consultations free or for a modest fee, and meeting 2 or 3 gives you something a single meeting never can, a basis for comparison. You will quickly feel the difference between a lawyer who listens and a lawyer who performs. Before you go, do a little homework so the meeting is productive. Gather your key financial documents and write your questions down. Ask freely. An attorney who dodges direct questions is answering the most important one. Cover 5 areas. Experience and focus. How much of your practice is family law? How many cases like mine, same issues, same county, have you handled? Are you board certified? Fees and billing. What is your hourly rate and who else bills on my file? Do you require a retainer and how does it work? What do you charge for emails and phone calls? Can you give me a realistic range for a case like mine? Strategy and fit. What outcome is realistic for me? What would you do first? A good lawyer gives you an honest range, not a guarantee. Settlement posture. Will you talk to me about mediation, collaborative divorce, and negotiated settlement? Or is court the only tool you carry? Most North Carolina divorces settle. A lawyer who pushes every client toward litigation is running up a bill, not protecting a family. And communication. Who is my day-to-day contact? How fast are calls and emails returned? What is your policy when I can't reach you? 5 things that should make you keep looking. Guaranteed outcomes. No honest lawyer promises you the house, the kids, or everything you want. Family court does not work that way. Vague or evasive answers about fees. If the money conversation is uncomfortable now, imagine it after 10 months of billing. trash talk and war drums. A lawyer who badmouths your spouse to win your business will escalate a case that needed calming. Aggression is a tool, not a personality. You can't get a straight answer. If your questions get deflected in the sales meeting, expect worse once you have paid. And no family law focus. The lawyer who handled your cousin's traffic case is not the right person to guard your retirement account and your custody schedule. Earlier than feels natural, ideally before you separate and certainly before you sign anything. The biggest divorce mistakes happen in the first weeks, not the last. Moving out without understanding what the date of separation fixes. Agreeing to temporary arrangements that harden into precedent. Signing a separation agreement drafted by your spouse's lawyer because it seemed reasonable at the kitchen table. A single consultation at the start costs a fraction of what unwinding an early mistake costs later. And if your spouse has already hired counsel or handed you a document to sign, then the right time to choose your attorney was yesterday. Start today. More than almost anything else on this list, your divorce attorney will hear about your finances, your marriage, your fears, and your kids, sometimes on your worst days. You need someone you can be fully honest with. Someone whose judgment you will accept when the answer is no. That's not worth fighting over. And someone whose style matches the divorce you actually want to have. If you want a dignified, settlement-minded process, don't hire a flamethrower. If your case genuinely needs a litigator because of hidden assets, safety concerns, or an unreasonable opposing party, then make sure your lawyer has real courtroom experience and not just a fierce website. Trust your gut at the consultation. If something feels off, it usually is. And it is 100 times easier to keep looking now than to change lawyers mid-case, though you can do that too, if you must. At McCrary Pack, we've built our practice on the belief that clients are neighbors, not numbers. And we would rather you choose the right lawyer than simply choose us. So come sit down with us and ask every question in this video. We'll give you straight answers about your case, about our fees, and about what we honestly think it will take. Family law for Iredell, Catawba, Alexander, Caldwell, and Burt counties. If we're the right fit, you'll know. The full guide is linked below.